Hopefully y'all are having a great night. Let's look at Bitcoin here. And let's get everything set up. I gotta get my music going. Come on. So Bitcoin just broke $50,000. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm in a long at Bitcoin, and I entered it this morning. Got a little bit of FOMO, and so far that's worked out pretty well for me. Bitcoin having a nice little pump. All right, so let me just make sure sound is good. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. We are live on YouTube, so go check that out on YouTube. The Fear Greed Index right now for Bitcoin. Let's get into it. Let me scroll down so that you guys can kind of see it. We are in extreme greed right now. I have not seen this since probably a year ago. Let's kind of, I'll flip the camera. So we're probably at some point now getting close to due for a pullback, but we're in extreme greed. It's been months since I've seen this. So just take that with a grain of salt. Be cautious, have a tight stop loss, and I will leave it at that. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. So right now Bitcoin is going nuts. The weekly time frame didn't even get completely oversold, which I don't like to see. I wish that would come down here completely, because usually when it reverses up before you get oversold, that's not a good sign. So I would just be very cautious. There's a chance that the 3-day chart keeps pumping us up, and then eventually the weekly rolls back over, and then you get a bigger correction on the weekly time frame. That's a possibility. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it just goes back to the top of the channel. But overall, I'd be cautious. The weekly chart looks good, but it never got oversold. I don't like that. That's a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. That's a good sign. If we look at the 3-day chart is getting pretty close to being overbought as well. So again, I would be kind of cautious. If in about a week that gets overbought and then the price starts to fall, the weekly chart could keep going to the downside for a higher low. The daily chart right now is completely overbought, as you guys can see right there. But if I will say this, if Bitcoin can stay above $50,000, thank you for the heart. I love you guys so much. Thank you. If Bitcoin can stay above $50,000, really the next resistance I see is $56,252. So that is, if Bitcoin stays high above 50K, we can move fast. Also, if we go over to Bookmap, this tells you where the liquidity is at on Bitcoin. The next liquidity to the upside, super short term, is 50,200. I'm sure we can hit that. That's only $40 higher. But then if I zoom back out, hold on. So earlier we have some liquidity at 50,500. I actually might need to refresh this because I don't know the last time I refreshed it. You have a decent amount at 51,000. Let me keep zooming out and see what happens. You have a lot at 52,000. You have a lot of liquidity at 52,000. I'm going to refresh this just to make sure it's actually up to date, though. I don't know. It doesn't look. I feel like there should be more liquidity above us, and it looks good, but I feel like it should look better. So there's 50,200. I just said there's a little bit of liquidity above us. That was only a $40 move, so don't be impressed. But Bitcoin is up $268 in the last 4 minutes. Wait, is that right? You just started the new day, so I think that's right. So while we wait for that to load, let's go to the 12-hour chart for Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the 12-hour chart is overbought. But again, you are above support, which is 50,000. 8-hour chart's overbought. 6-hour chart, let me zoom back in so you guys can see it, or just make the stock hour side bigger. 6-hour chart has more gas to the upside. 6-hour chart says we are going to have a nice rally. The 4-hour chart is overbought. Be cautious. The 1-hour chart right now is overbought. Be cautious. So I would just take everything with a grain of salt, but I do like what I'm seeing for Bitcoin right now. The 15-minute chart right now is continuing to go sideways and slightly up. It looks good. Short term, the 15 has more gas. That could also be a W pattern, which is a bullish pattern. I like that on Bitcoin. You could also say that this is a nice bull pennant on Bitcoin, and your measured move is going to be short term. Oh my God, did not mean to do that. Your measure move for Bitcoin short term is roughly, hold on, let me zoom out. So your measure move for Bitcoin short term is $51,310. That would be the measure move if this rising wedge, I would say it's more like a bull pennant, breaks out parabolically. Although it's going up, so that is kind of like a rising wedge. I would just be cautious. It's giving me rising wedge vibes, but if they break out parabolically to the upside. So that move could be fast. So now let's go back to Bookmap. Now that I refreshed it, you can see there's liquidity at 51,000. You can see there's even more at 52,000. So that's telling me the move to 52,000 is very likely. It's also telling me, Bookmap is agreeing with me that this measured move of 51.3 is very conservative and very likely to happen. And if I zoom out a little bit more, above 52,000, I don't see much liquidity, but that's okay. That's still a somewhat decent ways away, although you could get a $2,000 move quickly on Bitcoin the higher we go. So now let's just zoom back into the smaller time frames on Bookmap and kind of see what it's telling us. 50,200 still has a lot of liquidity, so my guess is we go back up there. And if in the next 2 or 3 days Bitcoin goes to $52,000 or higher, I'm not going to be surprised. Now let's go to the 7-minute time frame. You can see we're at the top of the pattern. It would make sense for us to get a move back to the bottom of the pattern, which wouldn't be that low. It would be back to 50,000 exactly. 5 minutes overbought as well. The 1 minute's probably, 1 minute's just getting started too. So I would expect short term a move back to $50,000 and then a continuation up. If you break 50,000, that is a bad situation. Then I would be looking for a move maybe as low as 49,000. But overall, the market's really bullish with ETFs, with the halving coming up in like two months now. So I would just be, I'm bullish right now on the market. If you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know in the comment section below and I will look at them. But I am bullish on Bitcoin. Thank you guys for the likes. How's it going, Crypto Cabby? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you also for the heart. Crypto bubbles. I probably do somewhere. I never look at it, but maybe I should. I think I used to, maybe. It was a long time ago, though. Let's look at that. So all these altcoins are doing pretty well. Some of these I haven't heard about. Orti's doing well. I've heard of that one. OP's doing well. Clay I've never heard of. AKT. Phantom's doing pretty well. So Bitcoin is up 33.7 billion in volume, up 0.3% for the hour. When you're on leverage, that's pretty nice. I'm on 30x leverage right now, so for me that's, I don't know, 30% move. For the week, Bitcoin's mooning 18%. That's a lot for such a high market cap coin. And for the month, it's up at the same percent. For the year, it's up 132%. Ethereum. So here's the interesting thing. Bitcoin is outpacing Ethereum. So when Bitcoin does top out, I would expect Ethereum to then have a rally and then lead the altcoins into a rally. It's kind of what I would expect. That's usually what happens after you get a monstrous rally in the bull run, is that the Bitcoin will go sideways or slightly down and consolidate for a while, or a few weeks, few months, whatever, go sideways, and then Ethereum will have a move, and sometimes it will lead the altcoins. So because Ethereum is lagging right now, whenever Bitcoin tops out, you could get a nice move for Ethereum, especially because it's a lower cap coin than Bitcoin. So that's what I'm looking at. Ethereum is probably due for an even bigger breakout than Bitcoin over the next 1 to 2 months. We'll see what happens. At some point, you need a massive pullback because, again, going back to this, we're in extreme greed. So just be cautious. I'll leave it at that. Bitcoin is continuing to try and push past 50,200. The 50-minute time frame has a little more gas. So again, this is looking ridiculous. I mean, I don't remember a rally like this for like almost a week straight. This is almost a week straight of bullishness, price action to the upside. We started this rally, if I go back to the 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin, all the way. Bitcoin started this rally all the way back here, and really it's been really bullish ever since you broke $41,000. So, I mean, I am bullish and I like what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. So, the last time we've seen a rally like this it's been years. Well, you've seen crazy rallies, but a $10,000 move in a week or something, or 20% up in a week, it's been a long time since you've seen that in the crypto market. So, I'm not really watching any altcoins. I tried to trade Link earlier today. That didn't go well, and then I just decided, if Bitcoin's mooning, why don't I just do a swing trade on Bitcoin? So that's what I did. So I'm not in any trades right now besides the Bitcoin long. And plus, Bitcoin dominance has to be sky high right now just because of the fact that we are going straight up. So I haven't looked at this in a long time. But you can look at Bitcoin dominance. And this is on the Binance chart. Let me just add this to my watch list. So if you just start, we'll be on the daily time frame. Daily time frame is due for a correction on the. So this is basically telling you how dominant Bitcoin has been. The 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin dominance is making a higher low. This chart's also conveying to me, along with Bookmap, along with the Bitcoin chart, that Bitcoin dominance, the market cap of crypto overall, is going to stay with Bitcoin short term. That's a higher low for me on the 4-hour time frame. That probably tells me also Bitcoin's about to keep going up. And the altcoins are not ready for a massive move up, and Bitcoin will keep controlling the market. If Bitcoin's controlling the market, that likely means we continue going to the upside right now. So that's what I'm looking at. Bitcoin looks really bullish to me for another move to the upside. If you guys have requests, let me know and I'll look at the coins. But that is kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking for Bitcoin to continue to $51,300 bare minimum. I shouldn't say bare minimum, but that's a 68% chance this happens. So we'll see what happens, but that is looking really good. And now that I really look at this again on the 7-minute, that's not really a rising wedge. It'd be a rising wedge if this was the case. Hold on. So this is a bullish pattern. These break up 70% of the time, but actually, that's like resistance right there at 50,200. You've hit that level 3 times now, and you're making a higher lows, and you've stayed at the same highs. To me, that's a bull pennant. These break up 68% of the time. I'm looking for $51,300 on Bitcoin sometime in the next few hours, probably tonight into tomorrow morning. Right now, it's 7 p.m. Central Time, my time. So 51,000. I'm not trying to be overly bullish, but that's a bull pennant. So really, unless you lose the level of $49,800, Bitcoin is more than likely going to go to the upside continually. If it loses $49,800, then there's a good chance you make a bigger move to the downside, lower to the $49,000 range. So really, that's what I'm looking at. And let me just make sure I got the right measure move. You take it from the last local high to the last local low. That was your last local low in my opinion. So that is going to be the measure move. Is just shy of 51. We'll call it 51,250. So that is kind of what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. It's a move to the upside. Now, what you have to watch out for is that 15 is getting overbought. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of short squeezes the last few days and over the last week. Even though 15 is getting overbought, this could still happen in this candle. This could get overbought, it could stay pinned, and then you get a $500 or $600 move to the upside. I would not be surprised at all if you it'd have to be a $1,300 move to the upside. I could see that happening. But worst case scenario is that the 15 gets overbought, rolls over, comes to the bottom of the pattern around 50,000, goes sideways for an hour or two, and then moons later tonight. Or it could happen right now, and you could get a $1,000 move. But I think there is another $1,000 move coming to the upside on Bitcoin, probably in the next 2 to 4 hours, maybe even sooner. Maybe I'll say 1 to 4 hours. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, is another move to the upside into tomorrow morning, maybe even tonight. I don't know how soon it's going to happen, but the 15-minute time frame looks really bullish. It's getting close to being overbought, but we could still get a short squeeze. Market looks crazy bullish right now, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. So that's my bullish scenario right now. And the bigger measure move, if you take it from the last local low on the 1 hour chart, you could also get that measure move. That'd be $53,000. So either 51.3 is coming short term, and then 50. I'm going to call it right now, and I'll see if I'm wrong. But I believe tomorrow, within the next 24 to 48 hours, Bitcoin is going to see $53,000. We'll see if I'm right. But that is what I'm calling right now. $53,000 Bitcoin sometime in the next 48 hours, if not sooner. That's what the charts are telling me. 51.3 I think will happen in 8 hours or less, and 53,000 is probably going to happen right after that. So that's what I'm looking at. Those are my targets to the upside, to the downside. As long as you hold $49,800, this thing looks bullish to me. So thank you for the follow. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to go over tonight. And we also live on YouTube, so go check that out as well. But that's all I got. I would just focus on Bitcoin right now. Altcoins will do their thing. If Bitcoin goes up, altcoins will go up as well. But, I'm just trading Bitcoin. It's been the easiest thing to trade the last 7 days, so why do anything different? So with that being said, if there's no request, I'll end it. But I'll wait. I'll be back live on Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Time. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now for Bitcoin. Thank you, Sir Juice, for the follow. We're also live on YouTube, so I don't think we got maybe one person. I don't know if anyone's watching on YouTube, but that's kind of what I'm looking at for the market. I'm expecting a big move coming for Bitcoin here very soon. And my stop loss on this current trade really could easily be brought back to break even. It should be at break even, but right now it would be at 48,600. Let's go over to the trade, which is up $120 since this morning. My stop loss needs to be $48,600. That's exactly where my stop loss is right now. So I'll move this to break even tonight before I go to bed for sure. And I could just do it right now. I'm just going to do it right now because why not? I don't think... I mean, I could even move it to 49,700. If you lose 49,800, it's still bullish to me. So, really, I'm just going to move it in slight profits and be done with it and not care about the rest of the night and see what happens. So, that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. And if this thing goes to 53,000 like I'm predicting, let's see how much I would stand to make. $638 would put my account at $1,000 or more, so I'd be happy with that. I know there's people predicting we go back to the all-time high. If I stay in this trade to the all-time high for Bitcoin, that would be a $3,000 trade. So I'll just have that, you know, I'll leave that as it is. But that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Very bullish on Bitcoin right now. If there's no request, though, that's all I got. I'll see you guys on Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe and have a great night. And, yeah, that's kind of all I got for Bitcoin. Oh, I do want to talk about one more thing before I get out of here. Atom coin is one I'm buying. I'm buying another. I'm buying more money on Atom on Thursday. The weekly chart has a little more downside. You still have 5 days left until it's oversold. But overall, Atom is one you can stake on Coinbase. If you don't know how to use a ledger, you can stake it on Coinbase for 9% APY. And if you do it on the ledger, which it's safer there, because then Coinbase can't take it, you make 23% APY by staking it. So I'll be doing that here very soon, but I'll buy, you know, a little bit more on Thursday. And then when the weekly chart gets oversold, makes a higher low, I'll go way more in. Like, instead of buying $70 a week like I am now, I'd put hundreds of dollars in every week. I think the low's already in, but I want the weekly chart to confirm that. So Atom Coin is another one I'm investing long-term on, and I DCA every week. So that still looks good to me, but that's what I'm looking at. Look, you're at the top of the pattern now for Bitcoin, getting a move back to the downside. And as long as you stay above 49,800, to me, this trade is still very bullish. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of the trade setup that I have short-term. So if you want to be really conservative with your stop loss, you could have your stop loss probably at $49,500 where I enter the trade, and as long as you stay above that, you're still bullish in my opinion. But I really think if you lose 49.7, it's over. So we'll see what happens. But I believe Bitcoin, based on Bookmap, Bitcoin dominance, and the Bitcoin chart, we are going to continue going to the upside. So that's all I got for the Bitcoin chart. I'll be back live Saturday, 7 p.m. Central Time. Until then, trade safe. Have a great week. And I believe come Saturday, Bitcoin will be like close to 55,000 or more. I think Bitcoin will be between 50 and 55,000 come Saturday. Like, you could get to 53,000. I think you hit that before Saturday, but then you might get correction down. It just depends on how crazy it gets. But really, if you get back above 50,000, like I've said before, there's no resistance until like the 60K range. So really, if it does stay above 50K, I don't know why it wouldn't just continue all the way up. So, you can see last time Bitcoin went nuts. I'm just going to clear the chart for right now, and then I'll... Last time Bitcoin went nuts in the last bull run, this was 58,000, so you have a little bit of resistance there at $52,177. If you get above that, then I would be really looking for all-time highs, or at least like the 60K range. You probably have a little bit of resistance there at 65K, but if Bitcoin breaks this level right here at $52,000, this thing is probably ripping back to the 66K range. That's really what's going on. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. If Bitcoin breaks 52K, it's gonna be it's probably gonna be an all-time high very quickly after. So yeah, that's kind of all I got on Bitcoin. So if there's any requests, let me know, and I will look at those altcoins. I don't know why no one's here tonight. I don't know what everyone's doing. Usually we get a few requests coming in, but I don't see any. So with that being said, I'm going to end the YouTube live stream.